Hello everybody, welcome to Vigilant Citizen. My name is Josh. Today's drink of choice is coffee. I've been tired and I wanted an injection of caffeine. Too bad I can't put it right into my bloodstream, so I have to do it the old-fashioned way, orally. Thanks for joining today. I don't think today's message is going to be too long. I just wanted to share some of my thoughts about knowing and understanding. Oh, I'm going to kick the table here. It's just shaking everything. Knowing and understanding your own emotional state and kind of what that means and what that might look like. I think it's easy for some of us just to go through, well, maybe all of us, to just go through life and not really think about why we feel the way we feel. And I know how that sounds. This might come off a little touchy-feely, but I think you ignore your own emotions at your own peril. If you don't understand why you feel the way you feel, then you're not going to be able to work through it when something comes up and suddenly your emotions are in control of you, or something comes up and somebody manipulates you using your own emotions. So being able to understand why you're feeling what you're feeling in any given moment is a very good way of being able to work through it and allowing yourself to focus on what's important and what matters. So, for example, if somebody makes a joke at your expense, maybe it's your mom joke, right? So let's just pick that one. So suppose you get really offended by your mom joke, and you don't even know why, right? Something bubbles up inside of you when somebody makes a your mom joke. Sorry, I'm here. I don't know, like kids or something. The mic's probably not going to pick it up, but there's some really high-pitched squealing going on over there. I don't know what it is. Kepler, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is, bud? Sorry. So somebody makes a your mom joke and you feel just the anger welling up inside of you, and you're not entirely sure why, because that's a pretty common joke, right? People say it all the time. So it might be just something as shallow as I just don't like people making fun of my family. Or it might be something very deep-rooted where somebody in your childhood made a joke like that, or your father made a joke like that before he beat you. I don't know. That's just that's just an example, and might be a little bit out there as far as examples go. But the reason that you react to something strongly can be a shallow reason, or it might be something deeper that you have to explore, you have to think about. I found myself the other day just thinking about why did I feel so irritated by something one of my friends said? What led me to not want to talk to them or want to get snarky with them or to snap at them? Because it was irrational. What they said, upon reflection, what they said to me, it wasn't that big of a deal, and I could tell they were actually just trying to help me with something, but something about the comment that they made to me rubbed me the wrong way, and I started to get the feeling, okay, this is about me, this isn't about them. So what was it that made me start to feel that way? And I started thinking about, okay, when have I experienced other comments or conversations like this that made me feel similarly? And I came to the conclusion, it's things that I heard in my childhood from certain people, and it made me start to feel insecure as a child, and I've never really gotten over that, and now I'm still dealing with it today. And now, my friends and family around me are having to deal with it because it's just a deep-seated, deep-rooted part of who I am today. So that's important for me to know, because now when somebody makes a comment about something, and again, this isn't the your mom joke, right? This is about something completely different, but now when somebody says something or makes a comment to that effect, I can be like, okay, I feel that bubbling up inside of me, that irritation, that anger, and I know it's me, and I know it's not them, and I'm going to follow that old adage of counting to 10 before I respond, or waiting until I just get over whatever it is that I'm dealing with in my own head before I respond to them, because it's not them, it's me. So I think another reason that you might want to do this is because then you can share it with other people. For example, I was thinking about sometimes after I don't perform as adequately as I would like in certain things like jiu-jitsu, for example. And this hasn't happened recently, but just to give an example, I was kind of thinking this through in my head since I have a competition coming up. Sometimes after like losing or failing at a competition or a match or something, you don't really want to hear why you lost. You don't really want to even know or think about it. You just want to move on. And so when people come to you and tell you, hey, you could have done this, or watch out for this, or make sure to lock that leg, or block that arm, or use both hands, or whatever, you're just like, look, I just don't want to hear any of that right now. It's not, this is what you could say. I don't want to, it's not you, it's me. I'm not receptive to feedback right now because my emotional state isn't where it needs to be for me to hear that. I want to hear it at some point, just right now is not the time. So knowing how you're feeling and why you're feeling it can help the people around you understand, so that it doesn't make it any worse than it needs to be, so that you can come back at a later date and you've preserved the relationship with people around you, but you've still sort of protected yourself in a way that needed to be in that moment. So some things to think about there. I could go on about this for a long time. Well, I'll share one. You saw me laugh a moment ago. This is why I laughed. Okay, so my mom died back in 2019, and it was really rough. And I'm smiling for a different reason, not because of this. It was really rough, the worst part of my life so far. And but you know, I also understood that's part of life. Doesn't make me happy, but it's something that you have to accept and you have to work through, and you have to do your best to stay strong and still get through it and still live. You still have to live. Well, shortly after, I found some time, and I found the wherewithal to start hanging out with friends again and doing some things like that. And one of the first things that one of my friends did, and this wasn't intentional, but they made a "your mom" joke at my expense. And I could tell, like, the room got awkward and things like that. And I was like, did you just make a "your mom" joke to me right now? And I had this smile on my face, like, like I kind of can't believe you did that, but I get it. Like, that joke is just so common, right? Because he just said something like, well, your mom does this and this and this, and she had just died, a month or two ago. So instead of it being this horrific moment that reopened all those scars that hadn't even healed yet, instead of that, I just understood, okay, that's a joke that we go to in our group, and I should expect this, and it wasn't intentional. So it could have potentially hurt me a lot, but it just didn't, because that's just the way things go sometimes. So, and yes, if that person wasn't apologetic, because they were very apologetic, if they weren't, we would be having a different conversation right now. I'd be discussing a different reaction. But in overall, it was actually a positive reaction. I understood my own emotional state. I knew where I was. I knew where they were. So understanding yourself and why you're feeling the way you're feeling will be very helpful to manage some of your emotions and keep them in check, so that you can continue to operate in the world in a way that allows you to be successful. So some things to think about there. I think I'll leave it at that. Like I said, kind of short. Actually, I guess 9 minutes. That's not that short. But thanks for your time. Always appreciate the conversation. Send comments, email, whatever. And I guess I'll talk to you next time. Thanks. See ya.